Hello, dear students. Welcome to Bajirao IAS Academy. So, the Hindu news analysis. Today is 13th August 2024, and we have a few different important articles from different newspapers, and so we will try to discuss all those important news articles one by one in this session, and we also try to understand them in an in-depth and detailed manner so that this discussion will be useful and helpful for your prelims and mains examination. And yesterday, you all knew I have given one prelims practice question, and this is with respect to the interim government in Bangladesh that recently formed in Bangladesh, right? So we have understood the consequence. We have understood the implications of Sheikh Hasina's, fleeing the country Bangladesh, and she's getting refuge in India, and how an interim government is being formed and who heads the interim government. So we have already discussed everything. However, the correct answer for this question is option B, that is Muhammad Yunus. So Muhammad Yunus is going to head the interim government. So as I have already explained to you yesterday when we talk about the interim government, so interim government is also known as temporary government, and this temporary government is being formed without conducting elections or without elections for the time being. Whenever the conditions are not favorable to hold elections, and it is very important to form a government and there was no existing government before, so interim government would be a preferable way of administering things in a particular territory. So in this way, so the interim government was formed in Bangladesh because in Bangladesh what happened was Awami League was the political party which was the largest political party, and Awami League was headed by Sheikh Hasina. And we all knew that when students started protesting against Sheikh Hasina and against the 30 percentage of the quota that was given to the relatives of Bangladesh Mukti Bahini, students started protesting against the 30 percentage of the reservation that was given. And over a period of time, it turned into anti Hasina and anti Awami League a protest movement, and students started demanding the resignation of Sheikh Hasina, and she resigned it, and she also fled the country, and immediately military had taken over the administration in Bangladesh. And the military head, who was military head was Wakar and this army chief has addressed the people of Bangladesh, and he also told the people of Bangladesh that very soon interim government would be formed, and once interim government would be formed, once a stability, peace, normalcy they bring everything back into Bangladesh, then they would conduct elections, right? So currently, this interim government is being headed by Muhammad Yunus. He was a Nobel laureate, right? So the person that you can see here is the Muhammad Yunus. So Bangladesh interim government head Muhammad Yunus. Okay, so he is a Nobel laureate, and he is also known for creating Bangladesh Grameen Bank, right? So when we talk about the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, so it is a very famous and very popular for giving microfinance, right? So microfinance to women, and in fact, it is an inspiration for many countries that his microfinance model has one way to achieve a woman empowerment and a financial independence or economic self-reliance of a woman over a period of time. So in India, self-help group is the organization's structure which is very closely linked to the Grameen Bank of Muhammad Yunus, right? So because in India also SHG groups, women SHG groups are given institutional credit or microfinance, and women are also encouraged to start any processing unit, dairy farming, poultry farming, apiculture, sericulture, so that they could earn sustainable income and they could also become financially independent, and it over a period of time leads to women empowerment. And the decision making power of women in the family would also increases, because whenever there is an increase in the whenever there is a possibility of financial empowerment or economic empowerment of women, that would over a period of time leads to increasing the or decision making power of women in the family, and that is very important for gender equality, women education, women empowerment, social, political, and economic empowerment of women. So decision making plays a very very important role. So he is the person. He is a Muhammad Yunus, and he is going to head the interim government in Bangladesh. And the today's prelims practice question is, which of these Central Asian nations borders Caspian Sea? Right? So that is the question here. So there are a set of countries. Now, if you carefully look at the map of Central Asia, you could understand what are the countries which are bordering the Caspian Sea. Because when we talk about the Central Asia, it is very important that you have to identify all the countries which are sharing or bordering Caspian Sea, and also Black Sea. Black Sea is also another important sea. Now remember, in 2024 prelims examination, UPSC asked one question over the countries which have been, the countries which have been sharing their borders with the Northern Sea, right? So Northern Sea in Europe. So therefore, there may be such questions that UPSC regularly repeat. So it is not just with respect to Northern Sea. Previously also UPSC repeated such questions. Now, in this context, it is very important. You just go through the map of Central Asia and try to identify the countries so which are located, which are actually share their borders with the Caspian Sea and Black Sea also, and also try to answer this question in the comment section. And today we are going to start this discussion with a very important article, that is the Citizenship Amendment Act. And we all knew that when the Citizenship Amendment Act was passed and what was the reason for the Citizenship Amendment Act, and how it is going to benefit the minorities who are persecuted in our neighborhood. Now, one thing that we need to understand here is that India's neighborhood, without any doubt, is a complex neighborhood, right? So, India is located in the complex neighborhood because we have surrounded by Muslim majority countries on our eastern borders and on our western borders and even northern borders also, because we have countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan on the western side and Bangladesh on the eastern side. Now, what is happening in most of these India's neighboring countries or the Muslim majority countries? The minorities are being persecuted, right? So these are Muslim majority countries: Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So since they are Muslim majority countries, there is a higher chance of persecution of minorities, including Jains are being persecuted, Buddhists are being persecuted, and Hindus, Sikhs, Christians. So all these communities are being persecuted, and because of this persecution, in order to escape this, they are migrating into India illegally without any documents. There are no visa, no documentation, nothing, but they are illegally entering into India. The reason for illegal entry into India is because of the persecution. They wanted to escape the persecution in these Muslim majority countries, and that's why they illegally entered into India with their families, seeking safe refuge, right? So seeking safe refuge in India to escape persecution. However, what CENTA has done, CENTA has actually amended the Citizenship Act of 1955 to provide citizenship to those immigrants which came to India illegally to escape persecution from certain religions, excluding Muslims. Okay, so from Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. However, it is a contentious issue. So contentious issue because Muslims were excluded, and it is also against India's secular ethos, which are mentioned in the which are inscribed in the Indian Constitution. Because of this reason, it is a cause of concern, and a lot of people are also pointing towards the fact that, so when we, bring in more and more immigrants into our country, when we legalize the illegal immigration into our country, so it would further increases the ethnic tensions in our country, right? So, for example, imagine that countries in northeastern region, they are ethnically very very sensitive states, and they don't accept outsiders. So therefore, when illegal immigrants started becoming the legal citizens in these respective states, there is a high chance of ethnic tensions. So one example is being Manipur, a crisis between majority Meiteis and Kuki communities, right? So therefore, there are concerns with respect to altering the demography of those respective regions and increasing stress on existing resources or limited resources that we have, whether it is with respect to limited amount of education opportunities, limited healthcare infrastructure, and states limited capacity to fund the social welfare programs for different sections. So at this point of time, India's population has crossed around 140 crore population. So at this point of time, the main question is that whether India can afford giving citizenship to more and more people coming from India's neighborhood is the key question here, right? So now this is a brief context of Citizenship Amendment Act, and with this brief context, we let's get into this and know what exactly is this news article and how 26 from Afghanistan who fled the country after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan have come to India and they've got the citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019. The article is that 26 who came to India from Afghanistan to escape persecution after Afghanistan was captured by Taliban was the first group of Afghan Sikhs who had applied for the citizenship online nearly 100 days ago, right? So in fact, the government of India has accorded them the citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019 in the past 1 week in New Delhi. However, so it is a news to be celebrated for those Sikhs who have escaped the persecution, the religious persecution in Afghanistan, and they've got a safe, a refuge in India, and they've also got the citizenship, and they become legal citizens essentially. So after they escaped the persecution in Afghanistan. Now, when we look into the details of the Citizenship Amendment Act, so we all knew that the Citizenship Amendment Act was passed by the Indian Parliament in the year 2019, right? So it was passed by the Indian Parliament on 11th December 2019. However, so it is an amendment or amended version of the earlier existing Citizenship Amendment Act of 1955, because Citizenship Amendment Act 1955 already provides certain grounds. On those grounds, the citizenship can be provided to the Indian citizens. However, this Citizenship Act of 2019 was an amended version of Citizenship Amendment Act of 1955. When we go into the details of this Citizenship Amendment Act of 2019, it actually accelerated the pathway for the Indian citizenship for the persecuted minorities, right? So, because what has been happening is most of these states in Indian neighborhood are theocratic states. They are not secular states, they are theocratic states, and they give a huge prominence and priority to the religion. So because of that reason, there is a less space for the minorities who have been practicing other religions apart from Islam, for example, be it Hinduism or Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism. So all these religions have a less a space or a limited space to practice openly to protect the worship, the places of worship. So because of all these reasons, they started, illegally entering into India. However, through the Citizenship Amendment Act, India has provided citizenship to those illegal immigrants who escaped, who were persecuted in countries like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, and they arrived India by the year 2014. However, as I have already told you, the eligible minorities under the Citizenship Amendment Act include Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, and Christians. So these are different religious communities who would be given citizenship under the Citizenship Amendment Act. So, however, there are a lot of concerns with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act. So, when we look into the concerns, before also I have told you few concerns with respect to the CAA Act, because one thing that we need to understand, it is exclusionary in nature because it excludes Muslims, and it will not give citizenship to all religious communities, and that is a problematic thing here. However, some people have been criticizing the Citizenship Amendment Act because of its exclusionary character, right? So, because it specifically says that the citizenship would be given to the Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, and Christians, but not Muslims. Okay, and apart from that, it has been giving Indian citizenship to undocumented migrants who are otherwise called as illegal migrants, right? So they are not a legal migrants into India, rather they are illegally entering into India and they were given citizenship in India. So that is a problematic thing here. So if they are illegal citizens or legal migrants, they coming to India with the proper documents, and if India gives them the citizenship, so that would be to some extent valid. Okay, so because this would further increase the security concerns for India, security concerns, apart from significantly increasing the population density and population, and not just the security concerns for the state, and in fact it would also create ethnic tensions, because whenever Indian government has been giving citizenship to these illegal undocumented uh, immigrants from other countries into India, so it would actually a pull factor, right? So it would actually a pull factor in terms of attracting more and more illegal immigrants into India, illegal migration into India, because India has been giving citizenship even to the illegal migrants also. So therefore, it would act like a pull factor and it would attract more and more illegal migrants into India, and that would further create a lot of problems for India. So this is what the critics have been arguing that. Okay, so the other thing is that it excluded Muslims from the neighboring countries, raises concerns about the religious discrimination. They also saying that it is a religious discrimination, or it amounts to religious discrimination because of exclusion of Muslims. See, one thing is very clear, because you know we cannot give citizenship to Muslims who are coming from the Muslim majority countries. So, after all, they are Muslim majority countries and we cannot give them the citizenship. So, as a democracy, as a responsible neighbor in the region, India has been giving citizenship to all these minority communities who have been facing the threat of persecution. Okay, but it is not the case with the Muslims, and that's why Indian government has excluded Muslim community from the ambit of Citizenship Amendment Act. But however, the critics have been claiming that it is exclusionary in nature because it deliberately excluded Muslims from its ambit. And in fact, when we talk about the Indian constitution, yes, Indian constitution has enshrines the secular principles, or it has secularism, which is rightly enshrined in the preamble of Indian constitution. Right. So we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. India is a secular state, right? So in fact, article 14, so article 14 talks about what? It talks about the right to equality and equality before law. That means everyone would be equal before the law. Everyone should be equal and there should not be any exclusion of people on the ground of religion only. Okay, so there should not be any exclusion, any discrimination of people on the ground of religion. But Citizenship Amendment Act clearly the violation of this principle, that it has been discriminating people on the ground of religion, excluding Muslims. So that's why it is a cause of concern, right? So explicitly favoring certain religious groups over the others, the Citizenship Amendment Act is actually seen as a contradicting the secular ethos of India. And in fact, critics have also been arguing that it violates Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. Right? So again, I can tell you Article 14 deals with the right to equality, right, and equality before law, right to equality and equality before law. And again, it leads to the exclusion of certain minority communities, minorities in India, but they are majorities in India's neighborhood, right? So which guarantees right to equality before law, and it also prohibits discrimination on the ground of religion. In fact, so there is Assam Accord also in India. So what is this Assam Accord is all about? Assam Accord specifically deal with the illegal migration into Assam, right? So illegal migration into Assam from Bangladesh. So especially after the India Bangladesh Liberation War of 1971, what happened was there are a lot of migrants from Bangladesh. They coming into Assam and they're settling. However, there was an agreement between the Indian government and all Assam Students Union, right? So all Assam Students Union about this illegal migration into Assam. And in fact, according to the Assam Accord, there is a specific concern regarding the compatibility of Citizenship Amendment Act with the Assam Accord, because Assam Accord clearly mandates that so March 4th 1971 would be the cutoff date, and whoever come to Assam after this cutoff date would be identified and they would be deported back to Bangladesh. This is what the Assam Accord actually says. But whoever comes before March 4, 1971, they would be given Indian citizenship. But now, one thing that we need to understand with respect to the Citizenship Amendment Act, so it clearly says that it would give citizenship to the illegal migrants into India from certain religious communities who came to India before 2014. So you can clearly see that there is an incompatibility between Assam Accord and the Citizenship Amendment Act. So this would further create a lot of challenges for the Indian government when it comes to the implementation and when it comes to the providing citizenship to the minorities who come to India after this cutoff date as per the Assam Accord. Okay, so in fact, the Citizenship Amendment Act's provisions, a provision of different timeline for granting citizenship, could actually conflict with the provisions of Assam Accord, because I have already mentioned, I've already given the dates for that. There will be a clear conflict between Assam Accord and Citizenship Amendment Act, and this would lead to more and more political and legal complications, not just for the state and also for the people across India. And this would also give a fillip to the ethnic conflicts in India that we cannot afford at this point of time. However, there is a way forward also. So you can see Citizenship Amendment Act who are included and who are excluded deliberately. And what should be the way forward in this context? So we have a few points which actually suggest the way forward for the Citizenship Amendment Act. So the government could actually consider reviewing amending the Citizenship Amendment Act, and the government should also remove the religious criteria for the citizenship. Okay, so the government could think about removing the religious criteria, and whoever persecuted in India's neighborhood, so they would be given citizenship in India. Okay, so however, that would be detrimental. In fact, that would be detrimental. Whoever persecuted in the sense that, so all the, so that would have a lot of internal security concerns for India. So we cannot give citizenship to everyone. So there should be a proper criteria. Even though a religion is being removed as a criteria for providing citizenship, but we cannot give citizenship to everyone. So that should be understood, because it would come with a lot of ethnic conflicts and lot of internal security challenges also. So this would address the concerns about the discrimination, because the critics have been arguing that the Citizenship Amendment Act has been excluding the Muslims. So therefore, when we remove a religion as a criteria for giving citizen or providing citizenship to different communities, so we would not discriminate among the religions, and we would also uphold the principles of secularism, which are rightly enshrined in the Indian Constitution. And apart from that, so any new legislation or any amendment to the existing legislation should actually in conformity with Article 14 of the Indian Constitution, right? So they should be in conformity with the Article 14, that is a right to equality and equality before law, and that is a very very important aspect, right? So right to equality before law. And any law that the government frames or any government, so they should be in conformity with the equality before law of for all individuals, regardless of their religion, their caste, their race, the place of birth, right? So gender, everything. So in letter and spirit, Article 14 of the Indian Constitution should be implemented, and this would align with the constitutional guarantee of right to equality and non-discrimination under Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. And apart from that, there is a need to provide more clarity on the compatibility of the Citizenship Amendment Act with the existing agreements and accords such as Assam Accord also, because there's a lot of conflict and confusion with respect to the dates. The cutoff dates in Assam Accord are different, and the cutoff date for the Citizenship Amendment Act is also different. So therefore, there is a need for a clarity on this. Therefore, there is a need to avoid confusion on the cutoff dates in the Assam Accord and the Citizenship Amendment Act. However, because any discrepancies or conflicts would be addressed through the legal mechanisms and through transparent processes. Now, without any doubt, the Citizenship Amendment Act is a very, very important piece of legislation. However, the Indian government should be very, very cautious when it comes to implementation of such piece of legislation because it would create a lot of problems for India in the long term. Because not just because it is exclusionary in nature, but because it would be a pull factor for the pull factor for attracting more and more illegal migration into India, and it would have the concerns that it would create security challenges, internal security challenges for India, and that we cannot afford at this point of time. And it would also result in ethnic conflicts across different places of India. So this is also one of the major challenge that we are going to face if we don't implement this Citizenship Amendment Act with much more caution. And next article that we're going to discuss is about the Model Solar Village program that the government has launched and its implementation, because recently the government has issued the guidelines for the implementation of this Model Solar Village program. So we will try to understand what exactly is this Model Solar Village program. When we talk about the context of this article, the context is that recently the Ministry of New and Renewable Energies. So this is the nodal ministry and which looks after the renewable energy projects and programs across India, and it also wanted to achieve a greater energy efficiency in the existing energy usage, because energy efficiency is very, very important for us, because it would ensure energy security and more sustainable usage of energy in India, right? So, in this context, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has recently issued a guidelines for the implementation of this model solar village. So, model solar village in the sense that the villages, solar villages, the villages would now have solar street lightning. So it would have solar street lightning, and villages, most of the households would have the solar powered solar panels. They would have solar panels installed on the rooftops of almost every house, and the government will provide subsidy, government will provide training, hand holding support, so everything. So under this model solar village program, and this model solar village program is further part of PM Suryagar Muft Bijli Yojana, right? This is PM Suryagar Muft Bijli Yojana. So that is launched with the objective of covering around 1 crore households with the solar panels. So this ensures that everyone receives a sustainable form of energy at a lower cost, and at the same time this would also substantially reduces energy demand reduces the energy demand. Now, one thing that we need to understand here, India is strongly committed to generate energy through the renewable sources, whether it is solar energy, wind energy, bioenergy, hydrogen energy. So, this PM Suryagar Muft Bijli Yojana, it is essentially to tap the potential at the household level, because households, they themselves produce energy through installation of solar panels over their rooftops. And in fact, the central government has allocated around 800 crore rupees for the implementation of this model village program. And now we will try to understand what is this PM Suryagar Muft Bijli Yojana. So we will try to clearly understand about this program. So what is the purpose of PM Suryagar Muft Bijli Yojana? So the objective is that it wanted to provide around 300 units of free electricity every month to the beneficiaries. So with the total investment outlay of around 75,000 crore rupees. So around 75,000 crore rupees would be spent to ensure that around 1 crore beneficiaries would get a free electricity of 300 units per month, because it would reduces the electricity cost for each of these households, and households themselves can produce energy on their own, and apart from that it would also substantially decline reduces the energy demand in India, and therefore this energy can be used for the industrialization, and we could also provide energy for the industries at a lower tariffs, and that would further give a lot of fillip to the existing industrialization programs in India, because that would make industries more and more competitive in India, and that is one of the biggest advantage of it. Right. So what is the deadline of PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana? The deadline is extended from 2022 to 2026. Right. So this is the deadline that is being set for the implementation of PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. However, so initially, it was announced in the interim budget of 2024-2025. Before the government has been going for the elections, the government has presented this interim budget, and in this interim budget, this PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana as a scheme was introduced. Some allocations were made, and when we talk about the objective or the target of the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, as I have already told you, that it aimed to cover or light up around 1 crore households across India. And in fact, the urban local bodies, panchayats, are incentivized to promote this rooftop solar systems. So they wanted to promote the rooftop solar systems in India. Apart from that, there are certain features of the model solar village initiative. Right. So what are those features? Because this model solar village initiative, after all, is part of the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. We should also understand about this program, right? So when we talk about this model solar village initiative, so it actually wanted to solarize all households and even public areas with some lighting, water systems, pumps, and street lights. So thereby, villages, if they wanted to use electricity for any community needs, so they generate their own electricity through the solar panels or installation of solar panels across different areas. For example, the community lands, solar panels would be installed, and the community itself manages the solar panels. Okay, so that would generate a lot of solar energy for each village. And in fact, when we talk about the generation of solar energy, in fact, the community land can be used by these panchayats for the installation of solar panels, and the excess energy can be sold to the industries nearby by these panchayats, thereby earning additional money and thereby making panchayats self-sufficient in terms of finances, or improving the financial position of panchayats. And this would be another objective of such program, and it actually seeks to create a model solar village every district. So there should be a model solar village in every district, because we have around 640, more than 640 villages across districts across India, and we wanted to create at least one village for each district as model solar village. Now, what is the implementing agency for this particular program? The State Renewable Energy Development Agency. So it is also known as SREDA, the State Renewable Energy Development Agency, or any other entity which is being nominated by the state or union territory government. So that will have the responsibility of implementing this model solar village initiative. Now, in fact, earlier we already have district street lighting program. So this district street lighting program essentially focused on installation of LED bulbs in place of the fluorescent bulbs, because LED bulbs are more energy efficient, and that was also one of the most successful program with respect to installation of LEDs. And this model solar village would essentially aimed at creating a model solar village in every district, and also showing this as a model to all the districts, to all the villages in that particular district, thereby further encouraging other villages to become solar villages over a period of time, and that is the objective. And in fact, we can say that it is like a pilot project. So once we implement this in one village, every district, we will understand what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and how we could actually do it with the community participation. So then we would implement this on a large scale and over a period of time. It makes that villages are self-sufficient with respect to the generation of solar, generation of electricity. Okay, so develop villages which are entirely powered by solar energy and also promoting self-reliance in meeting energy needs. So for this model solar village initiative, 1 crore grant per every village is being given. So total 1 crore rupees are being given for every village in each district, right? So I mean one village in each district. So based on detailed project report which is being submitted by the implementing agency, right? So under this model solar village initiative, as we have already discussed, the government has allocated around 800 crore for this particular initiative. So this is all about PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, and there is also an eligibility criteria when we talk about the eligibility criteria of it. So a village which is having a population of about 5,000 or 2,000 in special category states. There are certain special category states like states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and northeastern states such as Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. They are special category states. So in those states, a selected district would have 2,000 population, and it is also based on the installed renewable energy capacity. So that is being overseen by the district level committee. So 6 months after the declaration. And fund distribution or disbursement. So 40% of the funds would be given in the initial stages of the work, and 40% of the funds would be given after completion of the work, and 20% of the funds would be given after 6 months of the operation. So to meet the post operation or the meet post completion requirements, financial requirements of this model solar villages, right? So that's all in this lecture. So that's all in this, about model solar villages and PM, Har Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana. So the next important article is about Kavach or collision avoidance system. So we need to understand about this CAS. It is collision avoidance system. See, when we talk about the Indian Railways is one of the largest rail network in the world. One of the largest rail network in the world, and it also carries, around a 5 crore Indians every day. Indian Railways itself carries 5 crore Indians every day. So therefore, there is a huge vulnerability of, accidents with respect to Indian Railways. So in order to avoid, because whenever an accident takes place, because it carries a substantial number of people along with it, whenever an accident takes place in the Indian Railways, there is a higher mortality rate. So one was, in 2023, we have seen the disaster of Odisha train accident at Balasore. Okay, so Odisha train accident. So where one passenger train is being collided with the goods train, which was in loop line, and also it has collided with the opposite train coming in another track. So that has caused a mortality of more than 400 people. So therefore, it would be a disaster. And however, we need to avoid such major disasters. In recent times, the train speeds have increased a lot, and therefore train speeds have increased, a number of trains have been increased, and because a number of commuters who have been traveling on trains has also increased. So because of that reason, there is a need for a system like anti-collision avoidance system, or collision avoidance system is the need of the hour, and this collision avoidance system is called with a name is Kavach. Kavach is a collision avoidance system. Now, what is the context? The context is that Indian Railways expected to launch or expected to install Kavach collision avoidance system on Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata routes by March 2025. So one thing that we have to understand about the Kavach system. So Kavach system is a very costly system, right? So in order to install Kavach, the government has to spend around 50 lakh rupees per 1 kilometer. So 50 lakh rupees for 1 kilometer is not a very, a small number, a small amount of money. So therefore, because of that reason, the government has been going very slow with respect to the implementation of this Kavach system. But it is expected that by March 2025, the government would launch Kavach anti-collision system in Mumbai, Delhi, and Kolkata line. Okay, so this is the brief context. Now we'll understand what exactly is this Kavach system. So Kavach is an automatic train protection system, or it is also known as ATP, Automatic Train Protection System, and it is indigenously developed by Indian Railways through an organization called, right, so it is an organization called Research Design and Standards Organization. So RDSO, like how we have Defense Research and Development Organization for defense research and development of new weapons, new technologies in the arena of defense. With respect to railways also, there is an organization called Research Designs and Standards Organization. So therefore this automatic train protection system, or it is also known as ATP, is indigenously developed by Indian Railways through the Research Designs and Standards Organization. And in fact, initially it was called with a name known as Train Collision Avoidance System, or TCAS. So that is Train Collision Avoidance System. And when we talk about the Kavach, the collision avoidance system, or CAS, this collision avoidance system development was began in the year 2011, and it became an open source project after that. Okay, so now the Research Design and Standards Organization started developing the Kavach anti-collision system from 2011 onwards. In 2014, the field trials of this system have actually started. And in fact, the first field trial experiment on a passenger train was started in February 2016, and subsequently it has achieved the Safety Integrity Level 4 certification, and it is in fact one of the highest certification of safety, and it was achieved in the year 2019. And in fact, it is being promoted as one of the most cost effective automatic train protection systems which are available across the world. And in fact, when we talk about the implementation of the Kavach across 2,000 kilometers of track, as well as sanctioning its implementation along 34,000 kilometers track of this golden quadrilateral railway route or railway network, which is being implemented by 2027 and 28. So in fact, what is this collision avoidance system? And when we talk about this collision avoidance system, so a set of technologies which are being involved in this collision avoidance system, and which is being designed to help the vehicles, trains, ships. So it is not just limited to the collision avoidance system, it's not just limited to the trains. Rather, it would help other vehicles, ships, aircrafts to essentially avoid accidents with other vehicles or obstacles that they have faced on their route. And these systems actually gather and also process the real-time data about the vehicle surroundings, and they also make navigation more safer, and that they increase the safety of the vehicles. And this collision avoidance system can be used in both human driven and automatic vehicles also, right? So we have already discussed this Kavach automatic protection system is being developed by train protection system is being developed by Research Design and Standards Organization in collaboration with the Indian industry and Indian Railways, right? So when we talk about the components, so these are different components which are part of the Kavach system. So there is a computer as a component, so with the onboard a train computer, and also the station master computers, and the radio frequency identification readers on train track location. So this is one important component of the Kavach system, and there is also a proper communication, and data would be transmitted through fiber optic cables and ultra high frequency radio, and this GSM railway for network communication will also be used, and onboard computer managers, braking system and alarms would also be used, and station masters would actually have interfaces to send SOS messages in case of any emergency. So these are different components which are being used in the Kavach system. And next important article is with respect to Mulla Periyar Dam safety, and recently it is in news. So we will understand what exactly this Mulla Periyar Dam issue. The context is that there are concerns with respect to this Mulla Periyar Dam, which is located in Kerala. Rather, it irrigates the field. Rather, it provides irrigation benefits to the state of Tamil Nadu. Rather, it is located in Kerala. However, the problem is that it is a very old dam located in Kerala, and there are a lot of concerns that one day this, a dam would collapse, or because it is old dam. This was constructed during British era, and the safety of the dam or the standards of the dam are severely compromised, and one day it would collapse, and that would create a huge havoc in entire state of Kerala, like what we have recently seen the landslides in Kerala. So therefore it is a very important aspect to look into. So there are concerns about the Mulla Periyar Dam, so because it might be on the verge of collapse, and it also leads to the discussions about its safety and even its management also. Now, when we talk about this, so it was constructed on a river called Periyar River, which actually flows from the east to west in the Western Ghats. So it flows from east to west in the Western Ghats, and it was constructed on the Periyar River in the year 1985 by the British government. Now, in fact, when we talk about this, it is more than 100 years old dam. Okay, so it is more than 100 years old dam. And in fact, this dam, the Mulla Periyar Dam, is operated by Tamil Nadu government according to a 999-year lease agreement made during the British rule. And the Tamil Nadu government has proposed an increase in the storage level of the dam, because increase in the storage level of the dam would benefit Tamil Nadu farmers, would bring more land in Tamil Nadu under irrigation. Farmers can cultivate two crops in a year, and that's why Tamil Nadu government has proposed further increase in the storage level of the dam. Now, increase in the storage level of the dam essentially means that since it is an older dam, so when water holding capacity of this dam or water holding in the dam increases, so it would severely compromises the structural ability of the dam to withstand over a period of time, and it would also collapse. And that is a major concern. However, the Kerala government has proposed or opposed this move of Tamil Nadu government to increase the water storage capacity of Mulla Periyar Dam, because it would have a safety concerns, because once the dam damages, and because of a higher storage of water, uh, any day the dam could break, and that would create a large scale havoc in Kerala. So Mulla Periyar Dam was, as we have already discussed, it was built in the year 1985 on the Periyar River by the British Corps and Royal Engineers. What is the purpose? The purpose is to divert the water from the west flowing. As I've already told you that this river is a west flowing river, and the purpose of the Mulla Periyar Dam is to divert the west flowing Periyar River to the arid regions of Tamil Nadu, including Theni, Madurai, Shivganga, and Ramanathapuram districts of Tamil Nadu. Okay, so in fact, the lease agreement is a 999-year lease agreement from the British era that gave Tamil Nadu operational rights over the dam despite being located in Kerala. So it is located in Kerala. So you can see here, this is the location of the Mulla Periyar Dam, and this was constructed in 1895 during the British era. However, even though it is located in Kerala, it is being operated by Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu having operational rights in case if dam suddenly breaks. So what happens is that the entire area which is surrounding this Mulla Periyar Dam would be submerged, and that would lead to the large scale loss of lives and damage to the property also, because it is being operated by Tamil Nadu, and water is being diverted for different districts or different places within Tamil Nadu. Okay, so what are the benefits? So the benefits including flood protection for the state of Kerala. The dam helped prevent floods in Travancore region of Kerala, and it has also transformed the barren land in Tamil Nadu into an agriculture area, and now farmers have been happily cultivating two different crops in a year. Water is also being distributed. It reaches the Tamil Nadu through tunnels that cross the Western Ghats also. The Mulla Periyar Dam disputes, when we talk about the dispute between Kerala and Tamil Nadu with respect to this Mulla Periyar Dam, so it is between the Indian states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and in fact, it is one of the long standing disputes between these two states, because Kerala has been raising concerns about the dam's safety because it is an old dam, and in any day, so the dam would collapse, the dam would break, and that would create a large scale disaster in the state of Kerala. However, the Tamil Nadu government has been insisting that its rights over the usage of water in the Mulla Periyar Dam. It has also considering the aspect of increasing the water storage within the Mulla Periyar Dam. However, the Kerala state has been opposing this. However, when we talk about the challenges with respect to the Mulla Periyar Dam, one important challenge is it is a very old dam. There is no doubt about that. The Mulla Periyar Dam is composite gravity dam, and seismic forces were actually not given proper consideration while building or constructing this dam. So, despite strengthening measures have been undertaken in the past twice, is in a deteriorating condition due to its a century old, because it is a century old and it is in a deteriorating condition, and the dam has a large catchment area but only limited storage capacity. So that further increases its vulnerability because the water storage would increases without increasing the capacity of the dam, and one day the dam would suddenly collapse. The consequences of any failure of this dam could be extremely catastrophic and beyond the human imagination. We cannot imagine the consequences. So once this dam would collapse, and therefore both the Kerala state government and Indian government and Tamil Nadu government so should actually come to a consensus over this dam to avoid any large scale mishap about this. Okay, so that's all in this lecture, and thank you so much. So if you like our work, please subscribe our YouTube channel and also hit the like button. Thank you.